Hello, welcome to our channel Cell Studies, and in this lecture we are going to discuss about types of chemical bonding. In the last lesson also we have discussed about the chemical bonding, that is the first part, and this is the second part. By this lecture we are going to complete the chemical bonding lessons. Okay, so before we begin our lesson, subscribe to our channel and also like, share and comment. Okay, now let us start about our discussion, the types of chemical bonding. So the next topic is the covalent bond or dative bond. So covalent or dative both are same. So in this covalent bond, the bond is formed between the two atoms by sharing of electrons completely from one atom, another is from the another atom. For example, if you see, so this is the atom A and atom B. So it should have the one electron, it should have the one electron. So both these electrons are shared to form a bond. This is known as covalent bond. So in this case, at least one lone pair of electrons are needed for the coordination bond formation. So first we have to discuss about what is meant by lone pair of electrons and what is meant by bond pair of electrons. So here you can see, so if it is an atom, okay, so the electrons are present and these electrons are in a pair and these are not going to involve in the bond formation. Okay, so generally they will not involve. So but if they involve in the bond formation, that bond is known as covalent bond or dative bond. Okay, and here there are some other atoms, some other electrons. These electrons will involve in the bond formation. So lone pair of electrons means these are the electrons, a pair of electrons that will not involve in the bond formation. So generally if they form a bond, that is if they are shared, so these electrons will lead to the formation of a covalent bond or dative bond. Okay, so lone pair of electrons means the electrons which do not participate in the bond formation. Bond pair of electrons means which participate in the bond formation. Okay, so here we have to discuss about the donor and acceptor in case of covalent bond formation. So in this, the donor means the atom which donates the lone pair of electrons to the atom which accepts the electron, example nitrogen, and acceptor means the atom which accepts the lone pair of electron from the atom which donates the electron. So now let us discuss about donor and acceptor with the help of a chemical reactions. Okay, so for example we will say, as we have discussed the examples here, let us take those examples only. Okay, so for example here ammonia means NH3. Okay, so if it forms, the nitrogen forms NH3, then sometimes it is also going to form ammonium ion, that is NH4. NH4 means ammonium ion. Okay, so here, so as we have discussed in the earlier classes, the nitrogen has a 5 electrons, so 5 valence electrons. Okay, so as a result, now let us draw the electrons which are present around the nitrogen. So here 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So these are the 5 electrons. So hydrogen is coming over here and it is going to share one electron, leading the formation of a bond. So these two electrons lead to the formation of a bond between nitrogen and also hydrogen. So here also one electron, another electron will be shared by the hydrogen. So as a result, leading the formation of another bond. So another bond, another electron here, hydrogen is going to share and leading the formation of another bond. So NH3 is over. But here there are lone pair of electrons. So two electrons are there. These are the lone pair of electrons. So these lone pair of electrons is donated to the other atom. So example hydrogen. Okay, so the hydrogen will be going to come towards near to it, and these two lone pair of electrons are shared towards the hydrogen. So when these two electrons are shared towards the hydrogen, it is going to lead a formation of a bond. That bond is known as covalent bond or dative bond. So generally you can draw the structure in this way. Okay, nitrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen and also the hydrogen. So dative bond or covalent bond will be formed with arrow. Okay, this is the covalent bond or dative bond. The arrow indicates that it is not a covalent bond, it is a coordinate bond or dative bond. So this is about the formation of ammonium ion. Okay, so next this is over, and let us discuss with another example also. Another example is hydronium ion. So H2O, it is normal water, and if it is a H3O plus, okay, this is known as hydronium ion. So how it will be formed? Let us discuss with the help of example. Oxygen. So oxygen has the valence electrons in this way. Okay, valence electrons. So these are the valence these are the lone pair of electrons. So here is one electron, another electron, leading to formation of a bond. Okay, how it is formed? So oxygen, hydrogen. This is the electron of hydrogen, this is the electron of the oxygen, leading to formation of bond. Here also the same thing. Electron of the oxygen, electron of the hydrogen, leading to formation of a bond. So here you will see the lone pair of electron is present over here and lone pair of electron present over here. So in this way, what will happen? This lone pair of electrons will be shared with the hydrogen, which means completely donated towards the hydrogen. So now it is going to form a coordinate bond. So here the lone pair of electrons remain in the same way. Okay, this is known as hydronium ion. So here oxygen is acting as a donor and hydrogen over here is acting as a acceptor. Okay, so this is about covalent bond or Dechu bond. Now let us move to another topic. So that is chemical bonding. This is a flow chart of the chemical bonding. So how it will be discussed. So here the non-covalent bond that we are going to discuss. The next topic is non-covalent bonding or non-covalent bond. So here the electrons will not be shared. So there is no sharing of the electrons. So the non-covalent bonding leads to the formation of a bond between the, let us take the example NaCl. Okay, so we will discuss about that later. And these interactions are important in maintaining the three-dimensional structure of the larger molecules. So whether it may be proteins, nucleic acids, or etc., whatever it may be. So nucleic acids means DNA, RNA, and so on. So such kind of non-covalent bonding is present between the nucleic acids and also between the proteins also. Okay, these interactions are also heavily influenced by the drug design, crystallinity, synthesis of organic molecules, etc. Organic molecules means these are the chemical compounds, so which have the carbon in it, that is known as organic molecules. So here in non-covalent bond, 1 to 5 kilocalories per mole of energy is released in the formation of non-covalent interactions. So this is about non-covalent. Non-covalent means which is not a covalent bond. Okay, and next is the ionic bond or electrovalent bond. So this bond is found between the metal and non-metals. So here the sodium is the metal and chlorine is the non-metal. So all atoms try to have the octet electronic configuration. Octet electronic configuration means the 8 electrons in the valency shell, that is known as octet electrons, or 8 electrons in the outermost shell. So the electrons which are present in the valency shell is known as valence electrons. So each and every atom tries to have 8 electrons in the valence shell. So that is known as octet electronic configuration. So especially the metals have the tendency to lose the electrons. So most of the metals are going to lose the electrons to gain 8 electrons in the outermost shell or octet electronic configuration. While the non-metals have the tendency to gain electrons. Example, chlorine is going to have the tendency to accept electron. All the time the chlorine is going to accept one electron from the sodium or any other atom which is going to donate one electron. Okay, so here in this case the electrostatic force is the force of attraction between the two oppositely charged species. So here is a cation and anion. So here sodium is the cation and this is the anion, chlorine is the anion. So there is in between the sodium and chlorine there is electrostatic force of attraction that you can see here. So as a result they are held together. Okay, and here in this chart is going to explain about atomic number of different elements, element name and symbol of the element name, symbol of the element, and also electron distribution means how the electrons are distributed in the first energy level, second energy level, and third energy level, and so on. So here is the electronic configuration and it's a valency that we have discussed in detail in the previous lectures. Okay, and next is the oxidation, reduction, reducing agent, oxidizing agent, and redox reactions. So first we will discuss about the oxidation. So here in this, that there is a term, the term is oxidation. This oxidation is nothing but the loss of electrons. So if any electrons is losing from the atom, or if any atom loses electrons, that process is known as oxidation. So example, you can remember with the help of two terms, that is LEO. LEO means loss of electrons is oxidation. Okay, so example, sodium, Na plus is the sodium. So even the sodium Na turns into Na plus, that is known as oxidation. So reduction means the gain of electrons, RGR, gain of electrons is reduction. So example, chlorine. Okay, So reducing agent means the species that loses the electrons, that is known as oxidized. When any atom loses electrons, that will get oxidized. Example sodium, sodium ion. Example Na plus or zinc plus, Zn2 plus, and so on. So this is reducing agent. It means they are going to lose electrons. Oxidizing agent means the any atom that is going to gain electrons, that is known as oxidizing agent. Example, when it is formed, that is known as reduced state. The example, chlorine minus or Cl minus. Okay, so here there is a term known as redox reactions. It is nothing but oxidation and reduction reaction that occurs in the chemical reaction, that is known as redox reaction or redoxidation and reduction reactions. So here is the transfer of electrons between the two species, example atoms, ions, or molecules, that is known as oxidation reduction redox reaction. Here there is a transferring of electrons. So if you see here, from the sodium, there is a loss of electrons from the sodium towards the chlorine. So that is nothing but loss of electrons. So here you can see the Na0, on the top you can see 0. 0 is nothing but it is a neutral atom. So when the electron is lost, that is going to form into Na plus, that is known as, so what is that form? That is known as oxidation. So here there is a chlorine is going to accept electrons, so that leading to the formation of Cl minus. So this is known as oxidation. Okay, so this is nothing but so reduction. So this sodium is known as oxidation. Okay. Next is the electrovalent bond. The bond is formed between the two atoms when electrons are transferred completely from the valence shell of one atom to the valence shell of another atom. That is generally between the metal and non-metal. So that is known as electrovalent bond. So in this, there is a stronger electrostatic force of attraction present, which is known as electrovalent bond. Okay, here there are few examples, that is sodium chloride, magnesium sulfide, and so on. So here there is a examples are clearly given, that is sodium. Here it has a one valency, chlorine has a one valency. So as a result, there is a formation of electrovalent bond leading to the formation of NaCl. So MgCl also, magnesium has a two valency and chlorine has a one valency. So the magnesium is going to donate two electrons. As a result, two chlorine atoms are going to come towards the magnesium, and one chlorine is going to accept one electron, leading to the formation of MgCl2. So MgSO4 in the same way, so it is going to donate two electrons to the sulfate, each sulfate. As a result, it is going to formation of MgSO4. So these are the examples that you can discuss in case of electrovalent bond. So the magnesium is oxidized, that is nothing but reducing agent. When the magnesium is oxidized, when you can call it as a reducing agent, and chlorine is reduced, it is known as oxidizing agent, that we have discussed in the last slide. Okay, and the key points that you have to remember in this lecture is, they are very strong electrostatic force of attraction between those atoms or molecules, and generally they are solid. If you see the sodium chloride, it is solid in state. Okay, white color, solid in state, and it has IMP and BP. MP means melting point. So what is meant by melting point? What is meant by boiling point? Melting point means the state where so the solid and also liquid state exist together. So that is known as melting point. So that, for example, let us take the ice cube. So ice cube, when you take it out of the refrigerator, so at the room temperature, so generally it is going to melt. Okay, it is going to melt and form into a water. So this is known as melting point. It means here you can maintain, here you can see the temperature is 0 degrees Celsius. It means at 0 degrees Celsius there is a solid state and liquid state. So this is known as a melting point. So take the same water. So the water is present in a beaker. Okay, so heat it. Okay, if you heat it, what will happen? So at 100 degrees Celsius, the liquid is going to turn into vapor. It means the liquid state is present and vapor state is also present. So such kind of existence together at particular temperature, that is at 100 degrees Celsius, in case of water, that is known as boiling point. Here the water boils it to turn into vapor. So this is known as boiling point. This is known as melting point. Okay, so generally these such kind of compounds has a high melting point, also high boiling point. So they connect the electricity in aqueous or molten state. For example, if you dissolve a few crystals of the sodium chloride in the water, and if you dip two electrodes, so electricity is going to transfer from one electrode to the another electrode. It means this solution is going to act as a conducting medium of the electricity. So but not in solids. But if you put or dip the electrodes in the sodium chloride salt or salt which is in the crystalline state, then they are not going to conduct electricity. Okay, so when they conduct electricity, when they are in the dissolved state or when they are in the molten state. Okay, so any compounds are soluble in the water, so that is NaOH, sodium chloride and so on. They are ionic, so they are readily going to dissolve in the water. But if you take the sodium chloride, if you try to dissolve in the oil or non-polar solvents like oil or any other thing, so they are not going to dissolve in it. Why? Because one is a polar, another is a non-polar. So two things will not dissolve in each other. So but they are soluble in organic solvents, example benzene. So they are dissolved in the benzene or any same solution like benzene or other thing. Okay, and I hope this lecture is helpful to you. And also if you haven't subscribed to our channel, subscribe to the channel so that it gives support to it will support us to do more content like this. And also you can like, share and comment. Provide your valuable suggestions or feedbacks in the comment section, so that your comment or feedback will makes us to provide better educational content. Okay, and we will discuss the next topic in the next lesson.